Someone who does. It won't be much longer. If I had the tears, I could ease his passing. But without them, we've nothing that will touch the
How would tears help?
Not my tears. Tears of mercy. Alicia.
You wouldn't, Ty. There must be something we can do for him.
Sometimes an easy death is the greatest kindness we can offer. You do well to remember that.
We have all the ingredients we need for Alicia Balwam. It needs to be fresh. I can make the draft if you can bring me.
Just tell me what you need.
There is a species of venom-weeping spider that lives in the forests of North. Bring me one of their eyes. Preserve it as best you can, but avoid. I'll make sure the other ingredients are...
Thank you, Clive. I won't...
What did you find out? Good. So Lady Karen accepted...
But she was just too stubborn. She threw it right back in my face, in fact, and told me I could stick...
Karen refused payment.
I hope it wasn't something I said.
I'm sure you were as tactful as ever.
Oh, wonderful.
How may I help you today, Clive? Is everything we've received and everything promised? You earned this. All yours. Best of luck out there, Sid.
All right, Clive. Blackthorn told me you helped him out again. Speaking of which...
Worried about him.
Afraid so. It's a bit of a funny one, this, but... I saved this posh knob while I was out on a mission, and he gave me this flashy ring to say... So, obviously, I show it to Blackthorn, thinking he'll be impressed, only for him to go white as a try as I might. I can't for the life of me work out what could have got him upset like that. And seeing as how Blackthorn opens up when you're around...
I'd speak to him again. Well, I suppose there's no point leaving him to stew.
Cheers, Clive.
I'll be sure to pay him a visit as soon as I have a moment.
All right, I'll meet you by the forge then. You come along when you're ready.
Cole said it was an army of Akashi. What will happen?
Who's that sulking over there by the lift?
So, did you have that?
I did, and he was as helpful as ever.
And what precisely will I be cooking up?
Blueback wyvern liver. And...
Ah, wyvern livers, was it? Now then, you stay right where... Let's hope these grand old chefs of yore knew what they were... And here we have it. Fried mortress of skyworm. Ivan's offered to make sure it's fit for consumption. Well, I say offered.
And rightly so. Is there any higher honour than...
So...
What? The crackle of the crust gives way to an almost violent richness. Yet... it is a tour de force. A force of nature, even.
I think he likes it.
Well, I can't quite tell with all that nonsense he's talking. But I reckon you...
Decent. It's remarkable. And I defy... Sid, might I suggest that you command a party of your finest men and women?
I'll give it some thought.
Nothing like a dish of cold vengeance.
I didn't mean to make... I just thought I had to protect...
Aye, well, someone had to. Your parents certainly didn't give a whit for your well-being. Reckon the both of us would be worse off if I'd not taken you on. You've always been me right eye, Goots, and I'd have you stay that way. So don't you dare go...
Well, I will. If you ever need help, I'll do it again. And...
Why, you big... Fine. Play the...
Thanks, Nan.
There's nothing he wouldn't do for you.
That's as maybe. But if he's ever to make, he'll need to start looking out for himself. Till then, he'll need people to watch his back. Just like you did in
Of course.
Stop it. You make me one good eye, miss. I don't go thinking that'll do you any favours. A potion today'll cost...
Lady Karen, Goad tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you lot me hard-earned gil. I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations, and you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who happened to have become a prince.
Oh, so you're a prince now, are you? Fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the rest whether you like it or not. Where'd you even get this? A decent trader might nab 1,000 talent. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw him. Might be I already have a buyer in mind. Might be you even know her. A fine continental maid whose beauty's own. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all. Just be sure to tell her that it's all...
I hear you ended up delivering all thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what I pay.
Speaking of which,
Oh, so you remember what's owed to you, then? Get your ass beyond that disc of...
Right away.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. Plenty of times. It was the only goblet Sid ever used. Either out of habit, or...
I knew so little about it.
Like most people.
Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of... How long did you know Sid?
Before he died. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship. He bought passage to... I forget where. We set up drinking Island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to quit my post not long after that. But me and Sid stayed close. promising we'd one day sail this... That was... before the magic woke inside my son soon after his first name day, and there was no hiding his neck.
Couldn't you and your family have?
My family were the ones who wanted the monster. I couldn't turn my back on him, and I couldn't for the life of me understand how they could. Luckily, it was him who stood beside me when all I wanted, him who cried for me, him who swore he'd do everything, and he was true to his word too. Left the Royal Army once and for all, threw away everything he had, all to right. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the earth. He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone. But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod, if ever he should fall. But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. I love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
He should have bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone. I'd only have told him to piss off. You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
Would you rather goat were at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
This'll do me just fine. Thanks for the ray of sunshine, I'll see if I can't pay you back.
Already have.
Cole said it was an army of Ahhhhhhh. What will happen?
Bloody hell, Clive.
That remains to be seen. August tells me he showed you a ring and that the sight of it clearly upset you.
Come on, mate. Bottling it up ain't gonna help no one. If it weren't the ring, and it was something I said...
It was. It brought back some unhappy memories, that's all.
Memories of what?
There are things we'd all rather leave behind, Blackthorn.
And sometimes it doesn't. Is that so odd?
Don't be like that.
Fine. If it'll get you off my... That ring you flashed was the work we apprenticed together. But
you've never mentioned him before.
Why would I? Ain't seen him in decades, and the last time I did, we almost came to the ring, brought it all back. I could tell it was one of his the moment I saw it. Vast has improved, though. More than I thought possible.
So it was a nice ring. Worth a few gil, mate.
It matters, because engraving metal's a nightmare, and I've got no bloody idea how he managed it. The fact is, I couldn't make anything even half that detailed.
So what?
I'm the Idleways master craftsman. I'm not stealing a living at some backwater village fool. My armor keeps you lot safe, and my sword, as far as I'm concerned, every swing of my hammer's another blow struck in the name of our cause. So I put my heart and soul into my work, because the curse breakers deserve better than second best, and I refuse to be shown up by...
Very well. Why don't we go and pay him a visit? Learn it.
I doubt he'd be too happy to see me.
Then just this once. Make peace, swallow your pride, and focus all your energies keeping the curse breakers armed. Provided you can do that, you'll hear no complaints from me. But if you can't, and it's going to distract you...
What'd you say, Blackthorn? And it's not like you'll be going alone.
All right.
Magic. So, where do you reckon old what's his...
In Dravost, my old village. He won't have left.
Dravost, eh? That rings a bell. Not far from Tabor, right? Just north of the fields of Carava. Got that, Clive? Meet us at Dravost as soon as you can, yeah? And I'll make sure Blackthorn don't get cold feet.
Good luck with that. I'll see you there.
He's a surly soaker.
Sid?
Vaguely.
I'm afraid so. I fear the soil here does not agree. However,
I can't wait to hear.
I'm going to marry the Morganbeards with Morbles. I know. Morbles are possessed of a highly choleric temperament. The fire which drives them appears to be maintained by an abundance of I believe that by grafting... The endeavor, I assure you, is scientifically sound. I simply need a... That is correct. As for the Morble, I fear ordinary may not suffice. But, as luck would have, why, a notice concerning this very creature was only recently posted on the hunt board.
How timely.
Well, I shan't keep you any longer. I know you have much to do, as do I. Now, where did I put my watering can?
Let me tell you a story, Clive.
All right.
Them rumours wet legs were spreading. Might be they weren't just tales plucked out of thin air. You see, there were a time when I weren't too particular about who I sold steel to, so long as they paid me the right price. Some women lust after blood, others after flesh, but me, I were always one for gold. And to satisfy that lust, I sold to opposing armies, stabbed my every client in the back, made myself the most hated woman in the twins. But then one day I met a man who made me a different kind of offer. Said he'd give me access to a realm-wide community of like-minded individuals in constant need of steel and sundries. On the condition I sold to him and his alone.
Was that the first time you met Sid?
Aye. And I fell right into his damn trap. He was true to his word, so I ended up being true to mine. And I soon started making the best profits I've seen since taking up the trade. And all without aiding or abetting any outlaws. Except Sid himself, that is. Told me about his plan to topple the mother crystals, you know. Said that with them gone, the realm would want for all manner of things. An opportunity for the likes of me to mint gil. Why, I reckon an enterprising individual could find himself the richest dam in the twins. And that's when he had me. I emptied my stores that day and moved into the hideaway proper. And the rest, as they say, is ancient bloody history. A dozen years on, and I'm still not the richest dam. Not for lack of trying, mind. But I can say that I have never been happier.
That there are.
So don't you go messing it up.
Cole said it was an army of Ahhhhhhh.